Some of the best moments in life are spent in the company of others. It's a basic human instinct to meet in social groups, getting together for a common purpose, giving a shared identity, and raising the levels of enjoyment and excitement at an event. But wherever crowds gather, there is also the potential for danger and disorder.
We've actually got a fire in the stand on the far side of the ground, and that looks very nasty indeed. Now the police have gone over there to try out on them.
Basic instincts come into play, leading to fear, anger, and aggression. But other remarkable human instincts may be displayed, like acts of courage and a desire to help one another.
And look at that! Oh, the poor man! Oh, this is awful!
A sudden emergency, even a minor incident, can trigger a sequence of events that can rapidly get out of control. Claustrophobia, disorientation, and panic do the rest. Managing crowds properly calls for careful planning, whether the venue is used regularly or just occasionally. Dealing with a problem in the early stages of an incident can prevent the situation from getting out of control. Crowd management is central both to incident prevention and in mounting an effective response to any emergency. Using basic human instincts will help to anticipate trouble and tackle problems quickly and effectively. But no two crowds are the same. To understand crowd behavior, we need to understand how individual human beings behave in large groups under stressful conditions. To begin with, it can be an exciting, stimulating experience. But feelings of confinement can also have negative effects. Our bodies respond to the unaccustomed stress. First, the flow of adrenaline increases. We become anxious, even panicky. Blood flow increases to the muscles and brain as our hearts beat faster, preparing us to fight or run away. Like other creatures in the animal kingdom, when we're unsure what's happening around us, we don't always act rationally. Instead, we rely on our basic instincts that have served us well in the past. Filmmakers have portrayed passengers on the ill-fated Titanic in total panic, fear, and in disorder, fighting their way to the lifeboats. In reality, the opposite happened. One instinct is to pretend that nothing has happened. Exactly the reason that led so many passengers to stay in their cabins and to carry on enjoying themselves. After all, they were aboard the most sophisticated ship of her time and had been told she was unsinkable. Often, sheer curiosity will lead people towards an incident, hindering the rescuers and putting their own lives at risk. We've all seen drivers on motorways slowing down to find out what's happened, rubbernecking as it's known.
Emergency services say the second series of accidents was caused in part by motorists paying more attention to the wreckage on the other side of the crash barrier than to their own road ahead.
Being aware of these patterns of behavior and the influence they can have on groups of people during an emergency will help determine how to handle the situation. Many emergencies happen suddenly and without warning. Others can develop over time.
This is the bridge. The general emergency signal has just been sounded. Passengers should go to their staterooms, collect their life jackets and proceed immediately to their muster stations.
One of the first tasks is to identify the hazards facing passengers in a real-life evacuation. At the same time, you must not forget your own safety.
To keep to the right, please, ma'am. Keep to the right, please.
In a rush to escape, the throng of passengers itself may be a hazard. Exits may become blocked by the sheer weight of moving bodies. Stumbling and pushing can cause congestion and sudden uncontrolled surges. People can be crushed or trampled underfoot.
Hi, welcome. Come on through this way, folks. Just want you to take a seat right over
In
here.
assessing the hazards, try to assess the risks posed by those
Take a
hazards.
seat, please. Hi, folks.
What control measures are all in place, and what additional precautions are required to reduce those risks to an acceptable level.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please.
Although a senior member of the muster control party will have overall responsibility for passengers, in an emergency it may fall to any member of the crew to take charge.
I am your social hostess. I am also the officer in charge of this muster station.
That means being ready to tackle any eventuality.
Remain seated at this time until we receive...
On many vessels, each muster station has a muster station box containing various equipment, including a loud hailer, a counter, torches, a passenger list, and seasickness pills. Whenever passengers are on the move, good communications between the people responsible for them are vital.
This is the bridge. Attention, boundary cooling
These
party.
may be verbal messages,
Boundary cooling party.
tannoy and
proceed
radio
to
telephone
hospital
systems
toilet.
linking the muster control party with the stairway guides and the various muster stations. This party includes the purser and cruise director, who will be mobile, regularly visiting the muster stations.
Advise the bridge.
Yes, Purser, that message is received.
Make your messages simple and clear. Be organised.
Thank you.
5 of London's underground
Often
railway
it takes a disaster to discover these basic instincts. One of the findings of the inquiry into the King's Cross fire on London's Underground was that passengers had no confidence in the station's staff.
Firemen were met by a blast of
They ignored their instructions and continued to walk along smoke-filled walkways which were familiar to them. From the moment they leave their staterooms, the passengers will be looking for someone they can trust, an authority figure. So it's essential that all stairway guides and muster personnel are clearly visible to them.
You have been asked and summoned to the muster station.
They should see a well-prepared, confident team with a leader waiting to help them.
Which does mean that an incident has arisen on board the ship somewhere. The passengers
Inspire confidence in the passengers.
First and foremost. And
Talk to them. Go up to them. Don't wait for them to come to you.
The parties are organising and sorting out the incident that has happened on board.
The team leader should supply information at an early stage and on a need-to-know basis during the incident to prevent confusion, alarm, and even aggression.
Come straight here. You're very, very safe here. If you do have your life jackets on, please take them off. There is no need to have them on.
Some passengers may not have English as their first language. Speak clearly and give information that is simple to understand.
See us. We have these very colourful hats on as well, just so you can identify.
Give short, clear instructions. Repeat important information. Be polite, firm, and calm. Studies of disasters involving crowds have shown that people can sense when something is wrong.
We have these very colourful hats on as well.
During a shipboard emergency, it is inevitable that people will be anxious. They may hear messages on the ship's public address system.
Go and ask one of the members of staff. Yeah, what's all those messages
Attention,
coming
engine room fire party.
We're going to miss the free pina coladas, aren't we?
Perhaps they've seen smoke or noticed the fire crews preparing to tackle a blaze.
Wait, Mr. Muster, listen, are we going to get a free pina colada? Because they're doing them on the sun deck.
Well, I can assure you,
Simply
sir,
explain that everything possible is being done to resolve the situation. Tell them that the ship's crew is fully prepared for any eventuality. Reassure them that you know what you're doing and that everything's under control.
But we're still going to get our pina coladas.
The person in charge must never leave their post. If other muster station personnel need to talk to them, they must walk over to them.
Russell, I need 4 life jackets. Muster control, this is in charge of station.
Unless the situation is serious, passengers should not put on their life jackets. If they've already put them on, they should be asked politely to take them off.
Remove your life jacket.
No, I'd rather keep it on.
Well, it'll make you more comfortable. You get a long wait if you remove it.
But you've got yours on.
To make us more identifiable as crew members. Okay?
Okay.
Tell them that as they may have a long wait, they'll be more comfortable without them.
Okay, thank you.
Passengers without life jackets must be issued with one from the spares locker.
Allow me to help you put it on.
Allocate a separate area to passengers who need special attention.
Don't worry.
Yes, don't worry. We're going to put you at the front right here so we can keep an eye on you all the time.
Keep a constant eye open for changes in behaviour. Try to sense the atmosphere, tensions and moods, and look out for irrational behaviour.
A man in a yellow hat said I've got to come over here, and I said to him, you must go and fetch the children. Well, I haven't. I left them in the amusements.
But
And then I went to the
you say you
toilet.
left them. It's no good saying you left them.
No, but they didn't want to come to the toilet.
Some spectators at the Bradford Stadium blaze chose not to escape to the safety of the pitch, but made their way towards the turnstiles at the rear of the burning grandstand, the seat of the fire.
And the smoke is
While the flames blazed towards them, others remained in their seats. They had paid to see a soccer match, and that's just what they were going to do.
I don't care. I don't care. Look,
shouting at
yeah, well, can we just calm down? Dad,
Don't talk to him like that.
Look for signs of irrational behaviour, hysterical laughter or distress, especially among physically weaker passengers such as the elderly, and respond quickly.
end of story. He stays here.
I beg your pardon? Granted. I'm absolutely appalled. Who have you got waiting for you in the bar?
If you really want to know, it's Joanna.
What?
She's a very nice girl.
I've never heard anything like it. Now, the ship is about to go down, and you are planning to go and have some liaison with some woman in the
Well,
bar.
of course I am. I want my last moments to be good.
Paul, I'd like you to go over to that couple, find out what their problem is, and just quiet them down a little bit.
Okay.
Others may refuse to cooperate. If time permits, try to find out what's troubling them.
It's my...
They may have a problem that can be easily solved, or they may know of a problem which you should be aware of, such as a blocked exit.
You must stay in your muster station.
Their refusal to follow instructions may endanger the safety of other passengers, so unless you can quickly sort out the difficulty, seek help from a fellow muster station crew member. Be calm, polite, and assertive, but never aggressive. If necessary, take the angry passenger out of the muster station and call the muster control party.
You're behaving in a very silly way.
Okay, so you must stay in your muster station, okay?
Yes. Did you hear what he said? We have to stay here.
Tony, there's a couple of ladies over there. I feel they may need a little bit of assistance. Would you mind going over there and helping them out?
Yeah, sure.
There may be special groups, people with disabilities, or who do not have English as their first language.
I wonder if you can just help us a little bit, give us a bit more information. My friend's deaf. I've been trying to explain to her what's happening, but we've seen the lifeboats being lowered, and we just want to know what's going on.
Okay, the lifeboats are just being lowered as a precaution. There's nothing to worry about.
Find out who is their escort and communicate to the group through that person.
Will we have to get in the lifeboats?
No, there's no passengers in the lifeboats. Everything's under control. The people in the lifeboats are just crew members preparing the boat. There's no passengers going to the lifeboats.
Another special group are families. They should always be kept together.
Mackenzie Sager. And your cabin number? C104. Okay, Mackenzie, don't worry.
Reuniting them, if they've become separated, is very important.
Boy who's lost his name's...
This should be done through the muster control party, who'll be able to talk to other muster stations to locate the missing parent or child. Parents should have collected their children from the ship's youth centre at Crew Alert.
Let's go.
Any uncollected children will be taken to a designated muster station. It is then easy for the children and their parents to be reunited. The lifeboat preparation party may be visible to the passengers from the muster station. You should explain that preparing the boats is a normal precaution. In the same way, the stretcher party will prepare equipment, even though there are no casualties. If there is fire on board, announcements directing the movements of the boundary cooling party may be audible over the public address system.
Boundary cooling party, proceed to the hospital foyer.
The passengers may also hear messages to the two fire parties. Assure them that more than one fire party does not mean the fire is spreading. Under no circumstances should passengers be allowed back to their staterooms. Tell them that they'll be allowed to return to their staterooms as soon as possible. But while the fire parties are in action, it's important to keep stairways and passages clear while the crew deal with the situation. Keeping the passengers calm and reassured is your responsibility. You may be faced with all kinds of problems.
What's the problem?
You see, my husband's down there.
Right. What's his last name and cabin number?
I'm sorry, but, well, when I say he's down there, he is, but he's not, if you get my drift. I mean, his ashes are down there. I've left his little urn.
I understand. OK, madam, I'll report this to muster control. We've got your cabin number. If it's possible for us to go and collect your husband's urn, we will. But you must remain on your muster station.
OK, let's start. Mrs.
Keeping people occupied is a useful way of distracting their attention from what is going on elsewhere in the ship. This could be a life jacket demonstration, or as simple as a roll call.
Over here.
Miss Moore of A201.
We see.
From command, start the evacuation of passengers from the muster stations up to the lifeboats.
Of course, it's quite possible that the situation may change, and the order to move may come quickly. This is the time when life jackets must be put on.
Don't forget, folks, that stairway guys and muster personnel are around you. If you have any difficulties, please ask them. A few moments ago, we told you and we put you into different groups, okay? I want you to remember whose group you are in, because we're going to take you group by group out to the open decks now to your specified boat, okay? We're going to be going...
Now your task is to tell the door checker to commence evacuation.
Make our way out there. So, folks, what we're going to ask you to do in a minute...
As passengers start to leave, the person in charge explains what is happening and what to do. Assure them that every survival craft is manned by a fully trained crew ready to receive them, and that there is a place on one of the boats for everyone. Tell them they'll be taken to the groups, each group led by a member of the muster party, who will be holding a sign above their head. There'll also be crew members in the middle and end of each group. The task of the leader is to take the group to the boat. The task of the others is to ensure the group does not get separated. Point out that the survival craft are not far away.
Lifeboat 9A.
Stand next to me here.
Then lead them to the boats and allocate their places. It's likely that passengers will be put into the lifeboats quite some time before the abandoned ship order is given. Again, reassure them that this is perfectly normal and that they're in the best and safest place. Throughout the evacuation process, beware of panic. More than any other time, now is when the passengers will look to the muster station personnel, and particularly the person in charge, for leadership. Every member of the team must look and sound confident. If anyone becomes hysterical or aggressive, intervene quickly. Reason with them and reassure them, but avoid direct confrontation. Remain calm and get help if necessary. People with restricted mobility will board the survival craft last and will be helped by the muster station and lifeboat crews. Explain to them that this makes it much easier for them to board the survival craft.
As you know, we had a suspected fire over on the port side forward of the tween-deck laundry by the ironing machines. The smoke machines...
Participating in regular muster station drills will build confidence so that in a real shipboard emergency, everyone knows exactly what to do.
The briefing with the fire teams was sufficient, and any information I forgot to give you.
Yeah, the brief was very good. We just could have done a little bit more accurate count on how many casualties we were supposed to be looking for. Other than that, everything went well.
Be prepared for the worst, but also try to prepare for any unexpected turn of events. Deal with every emergency early, before it gets out of control. Despite the basic human instinct for self-preservation, during a real emergency, the greatest support of all could well come from the crowd itself. In desperate situations, extraordinary acts of heroism and selflessness have been recorded. Even in the worst situations, people will show consideration and kindness towards each other. Harness this to your advantage. By using leadership and control skills, together with your own basic instincts, you can help prevent an emergency from becoming a disaster.